Hello and welcome to Baggins Book Summaries. Chapter 6, titled Out of the Frying Pan into the Fire, brings us on a journey with Bilbo Baggins and his friends as they face yet another challenge. After escaping the cavern and the grasp of the goblins, Bilbo and his companions must complete their way across the Misty Mountains while being pursued by their enemies. Along the way, they face obstacles such as a landslide, wolves, and the threat of goblin soldiers. Just when it seems like all hope is lost, they are rescued by an unlikely ally. Bilbo and the group are safe for now, but their journey is far from over. Follow along as we delve into the exciting adventures in Chapter 6 with Bilbo Baggins and his ultimate quest to defeat the dragon and reclaim the lost treasure. It was a perilous journey, but Bilbo Baggins had escaped the grasp of the evil goblins and made his way to the other side of the Misty Mountains. He was weary, hungry, and without his cloak and buttons, but he was determined to find his friends. As he was considering going back to look for them, he actually heard their voices in the distance and stumbled upon them in a dell. Gandalf, Thorin, and the rest of the dwarves were discussing their next steps, and Bilbo's sudden appearance from the bushes, made visible by the magic ring he had acquired, took them by surprise. The dwarves were overjoyed and impressed by Bilbo's bravery, and he took the credit for it without mentioning the ring's help. Gandalf and the group were now on their way, but the goblins were hot on their trail. Gandalf warned that they needed to cover a lot of ground before dusk, and though Bilbo was famished, there was no time for food. As they were traversing the remains of a landslide, the loose ground below them was disturbed, causing the entire slope to start moving, causing a new landslide. But the trees at the bottom broke their fall and provided shelter from the falling debris. The group continued making their way through the forest when they came upon a clearing and heard the howling of wolves. Gandalf instructed them to climb up in the trees, and Bilbo was helped up by Dori. As the wolves entered the clearing, Bilbo and Dori found themselves sitting in a tree surrounded by hundreds of glowing eyes. The clearing was a meeting place for the wolves, and more kept coming. They guarded every tree with someone in it, and were trying to smell out their prey. In the center of the clearing was a large gray wolf who spoke in the language of wargs, and was surrounded by other wolves. The wargs and goblins often worked together in wicked deeds, and it seemed that tonight was no exception. The wolves were angry and puzzled at finding Gandalf and his friends in their meeting place, and they had no intention of letting them escape until the next morning, when the goblin soldiers were expected to arrive and help them. Just as the situation seemed hopeless, the Lord of the Eagles, a leader of a proud and strong bird species, heard the commotion in the forest and sent 2 guards to investigate. They saw the ring of wargs, the glint of goblin spears and helmets, and realized that the goblins were at mischief in the woods. The eagles swooped down and attacked the goblins and wolves, carrying Gandalf and the dwarves to safety. Bilbo, hanging onto Dori's legs, was almost left behind, but he managed to grab on in time. The flight was dizzying and difficult for Bilbo, who was feeling queasy, but they eventually landed on an eagle's eyrie. Bilbo and the group were gifted dry branches for a fire and meat to cook by the Lord of the Eagles. Gandalf and the Lord of the Eagles were old friends, as Gandalf had once helped heal him from an arrow wound. The Lord of the Eagles agreed to take them as far as he could, but would not go near any area where humans lived, as they would be at risk of being shot with their bows. Bilbo was too weak to help and fell asleep after eating, dreaming of his home. The Lord of the Eagles' rescue marked the end of the adventure in the Misty Mountains, but Bilbo's journey was far from over. In Chapter 6, the adventures in the Misty Mountains were perilous, but Bilbo had proven himself to be a brave hobbit, and the dwarves were impressed by his courage. The Lord of the Eagles' rescue marked a turning point in their journey, and they all felt grateful for the support they received from the powerful bird species. Bilbo's journey was far from over, and he was excited for what was yet to come, but he would never forget the trials and tribulations he faced in the Misty Mountains. With weary steps and a full belly, Bilbo drifted off to sleep, dreaming of his home and the memories of the journey that would forever remain with him. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Baggins Book Summaries and look forward to what's coming in Chapter 7. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment to tell us what you think. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We have many more exciting adventures from Middle-earth to share with you, so stay tuned. Also, feel free to leave a recommendation for a book you'd like to see summarized in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Baggins Book Summaries. Until then, happy reading!